Hey now everybody, welcome to Englit.org. This is Professor Island and today we are talking about responses. If you're taking English 101 or 103, either online or on campus, your participation grade is based on your submission of anywhere between 2 and 5 short essays that I call responses. If you look, you choose either your distance ed or your on-campus courses, and you click on there, you will notice that in the grading policy and assessment, there is a discussion of the responses in association with participation. And this value is anywhere between 5% and 20% of your grade, depending on which course you're in and how many other things the course requires for a final grade. That being said, if you're looking for examples of what this response is going to be, you could go over to the Archive of Tests and Papers, and you will find not only one for English 103, but also several for English 101. And certainly if I were to choose this one right here, the What You Upon I Will Redeem discussion by Mr. Hernandez here, we can see how this would manifest itself. Essentially, the work here is fairly short, it's fairly concise. The introduction, as I discuss in my discussion about introductions and conclusions in the organization and outline presentation on my website, discuss how short the introduction is going to be, and certainly in this case, the author lets us this author, Mr. Hernandez, lets us know who the author of the story is, what the title of the story is, and the fact that this character analysis is going to be part of this discussion here. And certainly this paragraph the body paragraph is an analysis of the bartender in What You Upon I Will Redeem, and the analysis is that the character's flat. And this author immediately discusses internal conflict, man versus man conflict, stereotyping, fundamental character change. In other words, the author of this paper is clearly demonstrating his understanding of the literary terms. He's not just simply retelling me the story, and he's not telling us how much he likes or dislikes the bartender. He's simply giving us the literary terms in evaluating those things against the character, and then using evidence from the story, directly quoted from Alexei, as evidence for several of these. And the quotation is about in the right percentage, is about 25% or so of the body paragraph. You notice there's no quotation in the introduction or the conclusion. And he's covering all of the elements that make up a flat character, as well as including at least one external conflict, and certainly that is covered in this as well. Both the introduction and the conclusion are short. He's keeping it to the notion that this kind of analysis lends itself to an overall assessment for the story, that the story has both interpretive and escapist aspects, and certainly this discussion of the bartender would be part of that escapist situation. Since this response, like any other Paper 1 response for English 101 or 103, is also part of that first paper, this is your opportunity, if you do the Paper 1 response, to give me basically a sample paragraph, this body paragraph from your paper. And then you add an introduction and conclusion. And when I give you feedback on how this paragraph went, I'm also essentially giving you feedback on how well your paper's coming along before I actually grade the whole thing. And certainly knowing whether or not you're on the right track is going to be useful and helpful. And that's why the due date for the response for Paper 1 is due at least a week before the paper itself is due. And so if you want to take advantage of the opportunity to do responses, I give you about 7 opportunities during the course of the semester to get 5 of these done for an A, 3 of them done for a B, 2 of them done for a C. Anything less than that, you're going to get a D in participation. But more importantly, this is your opportunity to do this particular one to get feedback to help you get a better grade on your first paper. So follow through with this, with doing these, but certainly this would be one that's going to help you in the same way that if you do it on the final paper, a response for the final paper topic that you're choosing, it would give you feedback on your final paper before you turn that final paper in. The difference between the English 101 and English 103 is going to be obviously that the English 101 only requires quotation from a primary source, where the English 103 response requires quotation from both a primary and secondary source. If this were the English 101 final paper response, then I'd be looking for secondary sources as well. Also, for all the English 103 responses, I'm also looking for a Works cited page, which is not required for English 101. Again, this is your participation grade. You have more opportunities. You have more opportunities to do this than the number that are actually required for a grade. But do not wait until the end of the semester and then try to do 5 of them, because they all have due dates. And once that due date has passed, there are no allowances for late work because of the number of opportunities that I give you during the course of the semester to do this. So it's once the due date is passed, that is gone, and then you're on to the next response. So pay attention to due dates, get them done during the course of the semester. Not only will you get helpful feedback for your writing, but also in some ways it'll give you feedback that might help you actually get a better grade on your paper. All right, I hope that helps. Stay in touch.